Hey, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I'm Russell Medber 31. This is going to be for Wednesday's early slate. That's going to be starting at 12:35 p.m. So it's going to be an 8-gamer. And if you're looking for main slate, if you already missed this one, then just you can. I love it if you keep on watching, but I get it. McKinley's going to do a video for that, so you can just go to our channel, and it's a great reason to subscribe to our channel. So you'll know when our videos are coming out, and you'll find that there's one for the PM. But this one's going to be for the 8-game day slate, which is kind of cool. Where Wednesdays we get 2 slates of baseball. So uh, no real weather concerns. Decent slate, so let's get into it here. So first game we have Angels in Pittsburgh, wind blowing out 11 miles per hour. It is pitcher's park, but that kind of helps a little bit there. Jose Soriano had a couple of good games and then threw a clunker against Minnesota and then kind of bounced back against Cleveland. He should have a decent performance here, so I think he's in play in the cheaper range. He's coming in at 7K. Uh, Pittsburgh's middle of the road, about 23% K rate against right-handed pitching, but they have like no power. Their ISO's below 1. It's 0.091. Even at home, it's just right at 1. So I don't see him hitting a ton of power. Maybe walking a little bit, but I think Soriano could definitely have a decent day here. Perez on the other side, the same thing. I know Angels put up a bunch of runs today, and they even without Trout in that lineup and losing Otani, there's still some pretty decent hitters there that are young and I feel underrated. Went back to my 2017. Like if you watch these videos for years, you know I stack 2 teams every single day. It's been Cleveland and the Angels again, and it's been uh, paying off. I haven't taken down any GPPs yet, but has cashed more often than it has not so far this season. Perez on the other side, I think he's going to have a good outing here. The potential for that. Uh, the Angels are top 10 in K rate overall, 23.1% against left-handed, but they do have a little bit of power against lefties. It doesn't completely scare me off of Perez, but it does make me like the Angel bat a little bit. Adele is very good at crushing lefties. Should lead off here, 3,300, good price. Ward took the day off, should be back in the lineup at 52. Drury, decent. Ren, Ren Giffo has it's a little bit of power, speed, contact. He's a good one to if he's hitting up in the order. I like him. He's just kind of a switch of army life there. Hope is one of my favorite young catching prospects there. So among those righties, I think you have even Neto, like with a wraparound cheap shortstop. So the Angels bats are probably my favorite cheap stack, and Pittsburgh would follow right behind them there. Uh, Angels have the second worst bullpen. So I mean Pittsburgh definitely makes sense here with the price up a little bit. So probably, Cruz and Tellez and Sawinski, um, Reynolds. I'd probably stick. He's as good on both sides. I wouldn't play McCutcheon. So, and Grandel makes it a cheap catcher if he's in at 27. So some options there for a stack. Toronto and Philly. Toronto's just really not done well in this series. Philly's just been crushing them. Bassett comes out, and Bassett has been, I guess maybe I see like a little erratic this season. So he's got a 5.45 ERA. It's like every other start. Well, he had some pretty good starts early on against New York Yankees and Seattle. And then San Diego wasn't good. Dodgers, he got absolutely crushed, which I understand. Kansas City wasn't good at home. Now he goes on the road here to Philly. It's against a Philly team that's putting up runs. So I can't say fade Bassett, but in the mid range, he's my least favorite out of the batters here. Like Philly doesn't strike out a ton. They're like middle of the road, so I just don't see the upside. Aaron Nola on the other side, again, is another pitcher who's had some really good starts and thrown some clunkers in there. Straighten up, I think Noah's in play. Like San Francisco got to him last time out, but San Diego before they had 31 DK points, 29 DK points, 29 DK points, 15 at St. Louis. And K's, he's like had 4 last time out, which was a weak start, but 10, 7, 9. You hope you get the right Aaron Nola, but I think this is a good matchup against Toronto. They they have a lower K rate too, so they're about like 20% overall. They're a little bit worse against some right-handed pitching, so that helps Nola. They walk a little bit. Their ISO isn't great. Um, where Nola's really struggled is against lefties. Uh, his home run percentage is higher against lefties. His walk rate's higher against lefties. So I and just Varsho and Kiermaier doesn't really scare me as a lefty, and Biggio, and they're more contact guys. And like these righties, like we said, they're kind of reverse split, but he's been solid against righties. So I think Nola will be okay here. Bat wise, I think Toronto is an interesting leverage stack because I think Nola will have ownership. And then Philly, I think, would be my second favorite stack on the slate against Bassett, especially the lefties are going to have lined up top there. It's going to be Schwarber, Marsh, Harper, Scott should be in. You can mix in Bomb and Romuto also for that. Next up, Detroit and Cleveland. We have Reese Olson and Tanner Bibee. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. So Olson, I don't know. There's no K upside here. Cleveland is very good. They only have like an 18.9% K rate against right-handed pitching. And they're, I mean, don't hit for power, but they hit for contact, and those hits start to add up. And there's some guys that can run a little bit too here. So Detroit bullpen's been better. So, but still, Olson, I think he's in play in the mid range, but just like Bassett, I really don't love it on the slate. Uh, Bibee, I think you can play him. I think, yes, he had a horrible outing out last time, but I think that was just a one-off. I don't think that there's anything wrong. The Angels, like they've been pesky, but before they've had 9 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 9. Yeah, he did have a couple other games where he struggled against Boston and the White Sox, but I think this is a decent enough matchup to be able to um, consider him here against this Detroit team where there is some K upside, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm like trying to figure out like who I want for like pitching. Bat wise, Detroit should be leveraged because I think he'll Cleveland pitcher will pick up some ownership. And then Cleveland, I like as a GPP stack. Again, they're a really good contact team, a little bit of power, not like a ton, but they've been hitting pretty well recently. Mets in St. Louis, we have Jose and Sonny Gray. So you're probably looking at this and be like, yo, my God, why on earth is Quintana not in the category? Because we know St. Louis has struggled. And last time out, Tampa Bay just absolutely crushed him. He gave up 8 earned runs, but they just kind of left him out there because I think they used the bullpen pretty much a lot before that. So he only made 2.2. But the start before that, now granted, this was at home, so it's in a pitcher's park, so it's a much better situation. Now he's on the road. The wind's blowing right to left, so it's not blowing out. It's 82 degrees, so decent hitting, maybe a 25% chance of rain. I'm not really worried about that. But St. Louis lost a big bat, and Contreras broke his forearm or something. I don't know how it happened, but I feel bad because he was having a decent season. I know there's some righties on, but I like the lefties in St. Louis more than I like the righties. And Quintana, he might only get you 4 strikeouts, but he went 8 innings against St. Louis just a couple weeks ago, or even no, 428. So it wasn't that long ago, and only allowed 3 hits and 1 earned run. And again, doesn't have the K upside here. So we're talking GPP, playing him in cash as your SP2. But I do think with there's St. Louis, the huge K team, I think, that you're probably going to look at like maybe 14 to 17%. So you're not getting the strikeouts, but potentially especially on like FanDuel, if you want to go like a full Dodger stack or a full Philly stack and get like a bunch of bats in, I think he could potentially make it long enough to get the quality start. So he's not going to get the Ks. He doesn't have a ton of upside, but I don't think you can completely write him off in this matchup. On the other side, Sonny Gray is probably, top pitcher on the slate price wise. Good matchup here against the Mets, but again, they have got some good discipline at the plates. They only have a 20% K rate against righties. They don't really have power against righties. They walk a little bit. So there's a lot of guys I've seen him many times that have some good EVP. Like Lindor's got 2 home runs and a OPS of .775. JD and Sterling Marte and Alonso and Nito all have OPSs over 1, I believe, against them. So not to say he's going to get shelled here. I think he's going to be good, but if I'm paying that much for a pitcher, I'd rather have the more K upside or against a team like that. He's going to be matchup proof and get the strikeouts no matter who. I don't think we've really seen that much with Gray. He's been good since he's been back. He's put up at least 20 DK points. He's put up no less than 27 DK points in his last 4 starts. And the Ks have been there with 6, 9, 12, and 6. Oh, he did face the Mets. 9 strikeouts versus recently. It must have been 27. So it was the day before Quintana pitched against them. So he got the win, innings, 4 hits, um, but he gave up 4 runs, uh, 1 home run, 3 walks. So I guess the case would be there, but it also looks like, again, I said there's some good BVP versus him. It looks like they might put up some runs on him. So I have him as the through here, but I don't know if I'm going to get up to him in my builds. I think he's interesting. I think there's a good case for him here, but season and Evie and Ivy and Nola, I mean, you might be able to make like stronger cases and save some money off of Gray in your builds. Next up, we have Milwaukee and Kansas City. 16% chance of rain should be fine. Winds blowing left to right, 10 miles per hour, 72 degrees. So it should be a decent day for baseball. Uh, Joe Ross, he's a fade for me. I know that it's Kansas City's the second lowest K rate against. So there's like 0 K upside here, almost like 17%, probably one of the lowest in baseball. And Ross hasn't been absolutely terrible. Chicago, Pittsburgh, he's put up like Cincinnati. So if he's pitching against the NL Central, he's but Casey is not an NL Central team. But he's not going to get he really averages only about 4 strikeouts here, and he's against a low strikeout team, so there's really no upside here. And Kansas City has been hitting well, so I'm not going to spend much time on him. Just say don't play Ross. Sitting on the other side here, Milwaukee is really bad against left-handed pitching. Against right-handed pitching, they've been better. The K rates Brown League average at 21.6%. Don't have a ton of power. Walks are decent. They do have a good on base percentage, so they have been um, hitting. So I think Singer is definitely somebody that you can consider here, but I think he's going to probably be my least favorite just because this Milwaukee lineup, even though they're young, have been pretty good, and Singer's been erratic this season. Like he threw a good one against Texas last time out with 25 DK points, but he's been anywhere like 17 to 18 at 8,600. I don't know if we can really get there. About 4 to 5 Ks. So um, it's just somebody that is in play, but I think I like the bats on both sides here. So Milwaukee is the GPP, and Kansas City probably my third favorite stack on the slate. San Diego and Chicago, wind blowing right to left, 8 miles per hour, 68 degrees. So not hot, not wind blowing out in Wrigley. Cease, I think, is definitely really in play here. I know that Bellinger's back in the lineup. I know Suzuki is going to be back too soon. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup, but uh, Bush came alive and hit a home run and won the game for them. So, well, it looks like Crow Anderson's the odd man out with Bellinger back here. But Cease is definitely someone that you can play if you can get up to him. 10K is not too bad. Other than a game against Philly, even in Colorado, he's put up like 30 DK points, 3 out of the last 5, and then against Milwaukee, he had 25. So he's been cruising. Chicago strikeout wise against right-handed pitching, it's 22.7, so it's not good. It's not bad. It's like somewhere in the middle. Have walked a lot, so they're pretty patient there. But not a ton of power, and their on base percentage is average. So Cease is definitely in play. Wisniewski, you're probably asking me why is he on the fade list? Because San Diego has struggled. He's got a .54 ERA. He's 2-0, but I just he had 8 Ks last time out, but he only had 3 Ks in his first start, 1 K in the start before that, and 2 Ks in the start before that. Uh, yeah, he did go 6 innings against Milwaukee, and it was throwing good game. But if I do believe, I think the wind was blowing in that game in Wrigley. Um, so I think that definitely helped with the factors there. But you're looking at a team here in San Diego that's number 4 overall in K rate, and they're against right-handers, they're 16.7. So it's again one of the best in Major League Baseball. So I don't see, even though his ERA has been good and he's won some games, I don't see him going deep here, and I don't see him getting Ks. And I think San Diego is probably my second favorite GPP stack there. The Cubs would be a great leverage stack against these, because we've seen him have some bad games, and if they and this lineup has clicked from time to time too. If they click, if he's off, if Cease is high owned, the Chicago Cubs stack is low owned, then that's going to be a really good situation for you. Miami at the Dodgers. Ryan Weathers, no, just no. Um, Dodgers only have a 16.7% K rate against left-handed pitching. They have a .181 ISO at home. It's a .251, and over the last 14 days, it's a .223. They have just been um, destroying left-handed. They've been destroying everything. Like, I was last night's video. I was on Outman and Lux and Freeman, and they've all. I don't know if Freeman had a home run, but I know Outman had a home run last night. They say he had hit in 10 days, and all of a sudden he's leaving the yard as soon as I'm wrapping the production of the video after I said, don't play him because so I put him on the cover. Then tonight, Lux had a home run, his first one of the season. So, and Muncy, he was a couple weeks ago, I was off of him, and he had like 3 home runs over the weekend. He had a grand slam tonight, so he's starting to come alive. But those guys are all lefties. Are we looking at this one? We want righties. But anyways, let's start with Gavin Stone. Stone has a 4.6 ERA, but we're up against the Marlins. The Marlins have their top, they're 7th overall in Ks. But when it comes to right-handed pitching, they go up to 23%, which almost puts them in the top 10 on the other side of things. So, like, I haven't played much Stone this year, but I think this might be a case where, GPP, I might give it a shot. Uh, it's had a couple games with 19 DK points. He could probably get 4 or 5 strikeouts here. So I'm not expecting the world, but to be a little bit different, he should get the run support and upside and go long enough to get the win. So as an SP2 candidate, I think you gotta leave him in consideration for uh, playing. And I don't know why he's not up, how he didn't end up there. So we can There he is. He's on top of the medium range because, like I said, he's against a Marlins team, which I know they hit a couple home runs tonight, but they've been few and far between. There's not a ton of power on this, and he should be good enough to have a decent outing. Miami, I'm not touching. They're cheap. So if you don't believe in Stone as much as I do, then fire up the lefties, Jazz leading off, Bell, Sanchez. That's about it. I wouldn't go more than three there. On Dodgers, love the righties here. Betts, Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Pages, Enrique Hernandez. Probably not Rojas, but now that I say that, he's probably going to have 3 home runs tomorrow. But I don't think he's a really great power hitter. So maybe it's a good game, but I don't think it's that. Otani can hit both sides of the plate, so if you have money for him in the stack, that's fine too. I'd probably lay off Muncy here. He might not even start. He might get the day off, and being lefty because he just really has kind of struggled there. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. Final game we have is Texas and Oakland. That turned into a football game today. It was 15-8. Texas up like 10 or 11 after the second inning. Bullpens were annihilated. So Lorenzen gets to go out there and pitch. I think he's solidly in play. If you don't like Stone, then here's one for you. I know he hasn't put up a ton of points this year, but he's probably only get 3 or 4 strikeouts. But Oakland will be able to help manufacture. He's been up to 7 at one point this year. So Oakland has about 25% K rate against right-handed pitching. They've been great against left-handed pitching, not against right-handed pitching. And I think Lorenzen gets to stay in a little bit. There's really not a ton of lefties that really scare me here. The righties scare me more. So it's a doubleheader too. So the Oakland's lineup might be even more watered down, and might have to call some people up from AAA to come out and play, just to be able to have enough bodies to be able to rest people because they're playing 4 games in 3 days. And then I don't know if they're off on Thursday or not, but I think they are. But still, I mean, that's just going to be like a great opportunity for Lorenzen. And JP Spears on the other side, he's going to have to stay out there. He's going to have to do good. They lost the first 2 games of the series. Oakland was at 500. Now they've fallen a couple games below and having a little bit of a losing streak. And this is a good chance to turn around. And it might not be the full Texas lineup either. So with the doubleheader, they might rest, and you might get some more B-list guys and A-list guys here. And Sears has been good recently. Against the Yankees, he had 25 DK points. Against Texas, he already faced them this year. At Texas, he had 25 DK points. He went 6.1 innings. He only gave up 1 hit, 3 walks, had 5 strikeouts, 88 pitches, so pretty efficient. So yes, they've seen him, but I mean, it's been a month. It was May 11th or March 11th. Sorry, April 11th. Get it right on the third try. So I think there's definitely some upside, and I like him for GPPs, not for cash. Bat wise, Texas definitely GPP. If you think the righties who are there, Simeon Seager hits both sides fine. Garcia, Heim, so that's where I'd probably go there. See who's Durant or like see who's in the lineup, who gets it. Carter probably won't start. And then for Oakland, here's the hard thing. I'll take Toro, I'll take Blade, I'll take Seth Brown, but there's really nobody else. Like Rooker is good, but I'd rather have him against a lefty. JD Davis destroys lefties, not great against righties. Some of these other guys I haven't even heard of, like Brett Harris had a couple home runs when they had put up the 20 a couple days ago. But again, I prefer him against a lefty than a righty. So that's what I got for you. Got a lot of options. So like I said, paying up Grave got some certain seats is decent. Vibe decent. Nola should have a good one. So any of those 4 good singers, the one I have the most reserve on. Mid range, Stone and Lorenzen, I like. Perez Olson and Bassett. And Perez and Olson. Perez, I think, is good. Olson, I kind of fear the matchup there. And Bassett, I'm really scared of the matchup. So Soriano, Sears, and Quintana. if you can stomach against St. Louis. But remember, they did lose a crucial bat in their lineup there. I think those are where I want to go. So Dodgers, righties, if you can get there. Phillies, lefties, if you can get there. Kansas City, anybody. St. Louis, they're pretty cheap against lefty and Quintana. So I'd probably stick to pretty much the righties there. GPP, Texas, San Diego, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and cheap LA, hits Oakland, and Miami. So let's look at the bill to get you on your way for your day for this early slate. So I'm taking Lorenzen and Bybee. There's first base. I ended up, I think, with like little over 4K. So if you can find a cheap first baseman and want to punt that, take like Lack, who's only 2,800 from Milwaukee, you could probably get up to Cease or Gray. So Furman, if he's at second base, if he's not there, I would probably put Betts there and and then put like Win the shortstop in for, or maybe Kiki. I don't know what position Kiki Hernandez plays, but maybe I'd work him in. So give me Arenado, give me Oscar Hernandez and Pajes. So I want, and Will Smith as catcher, I want the right-handed Dodger bats, as many as I can get in my lineup, and then I'm going to fill in with these cheap St. Louis pieces, sticking pretty much to the right side. First base, I'm probably going one off. I'm not going to pay up for Freeman. I do not want Goldschmidt. Now, again, this is because I'm throwing shade at Goldsmith. He's going to have 4 home runs tomorrow, but he's hitting below 200. He just looks dusty. I just don't think it's there. At 4,600 is egregious for his price. If he was down to 36, I'd be tempted to hit the click, and put him in. But I just can't do it there. GPP, Nola or Cease, whichever one you prefer there. Sears, I'm going to take a shot there. I think he's going to have another good day against Texas in this first game of doubleheader. And then I'm going with my everyday stack. So give me Cleveland and give me the Angels, especially the righty. So hope you like him. If not, you can say go Naylor. Naylor there. Second base, you can take Drury or you can take Jimenez for Cleveland there. Jose Ramirez at third base. I'd probably take one off there. I'm not going to Adrianza if J Ram sits for some reason. Shortstop, Neto, Hunt. I don't know. The Cleveland shortstop's not great, but it does make a run Brown stack. So it's Rocchio, can't pronounce that one. Sorry. And I haven't watched any Cleveland broadcast to hear how they pronounce his name. So throw in the chat, phonetically spell it for me. I'll get it right next time. I hope, because I've screwed up Cisse. I've still called him Cisse a couple times in this video. So I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, Adele, love him. She should be leading off. He is really good power and speed against left-handed pitching. And then Florial, I was so sad when the Yankees lost him. I thought he was a really good prospect. He's leading off here with the injury to Quan and making the most of it. 3,100 speed, a little bit of power there. So really like that lineup. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRoar31 on Twitter/X. Again, if these videos help you, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends. And if you want more information on FSi DFS, description of the video get you to our pricing page. VIP is $6 per day. It's pretty good. It'll cover Major League Baseball, it'll cover Charlie's Champion League showdown slate, and any other soccer slates that are on for the day. NBA playoffs, NHL, hockey playoffs. That later on in the week, especially like Thursday and Friday, you start to get PGA mixed in with that VIP. You get NASCAR, and it costs you $6 per day. Or there's like for like the week, it's like I think it's like 15 or maybe something. Maybe it's like 25. But anyways, it's really cheap. So that's what I got for you. Good luck in your contest. You know how to get a hold of me if you have questions. Check out McKinley's video for the late slate, and I'll see you next time.